At 4:17 a.m. local time on February 6, 2023, a strong earthquake measuring 7.8 magnitude hit the southeastern part of the country of Turkiye, centered in the city of Gazientep. 7 other nearby cities were destroyed in addition to a large area in northern Syria. It was one of the strongest earthquakes that ever hit Turkey in this century, also one of the most tragic natural disasters, where densely populated areas collapsed overnight. More than 6,000 buildings, including residential apartments, have collapsed, resulting in more than 180,000 residents trapped under the buildings, and most likely dead. The tremors were also felt by millions of people living up to 1,000 kilometers away. It was followed by a second earthquake with a magnitude of 7.5 within the next 9 hours, and more than 100 aftershocks with a magnitude greater than 4. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has declared a state of emergency for 3 months in the affected areas. The cold weather with rain and snow made the rescue process difficult and worsened the situation of the victims waiting to be rescued. In Syria, the affected region is being hit by conflict and is occupied by millions of war refugees, making international aid difficult. So, in this video, we will see the terrible natural disasters that hit Turkey and Syria. Keep watching. Why is this earthquake so destructive? The Earth's tectonic plate system is always moving at a constant rate even when there are no earthquakes. For example, the Anatolian plate on which most of the country of Turkey is located moves as much as 22 meters per year as observed by satellites. Earthquakes occur when the boundaries of the 2 tectonic plates of the Earth shift against each other and cause sudden large shifts in the ground. The relatively small Anatolian plate is surrounded by 4 tectonic plates, including 2 larger and active ones, the Arabian and the Eurasian. The Turkish-Syrian border is one of the most active earthquake zones in the world, and the country has a history of severe earthquakes. This earthquake was the largest seen in Turkey since 1939, which killed 33,000 people in the eastern province of Erzincan. On February 6, 2023, the epicenter was located in Pazarcık, near the city of Gazientep, which borders Syria. This Turkiye earthquake occurred because of 2 horizontal pressures in opposite directions, which is known as a strike slip, which is the moving Arabian plate that has rubbed against the Anatolian plate. It is different from the usual colliding and slipping of tectonic plates. The Arabian plate moved northward into Europe, collided with the Eurasian plate, rubbed against the small Anatolian plate, and was pushed westward. The Anatolian plate is squeezed and subjected to enormous pressure, eventually resulting in strong tremors on the Earth's surface. The movement of the tectonic plates has resulted in pressure forming on the boundary line of both the Arabian and Anatolian plates, and eventually ground shaking followed by earthquakes. The area often faces earthquakes due to the active movement of the Earth's plates, but on February 6th, the pressure due to friction was extremely large, and the energy released was destructive. The epicenter of the earthquake, which is only 17.6 kilometers deep, is also an important factor in causing seismic waves or earthquake waves, with strong tremors to affect a very large area. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, only 3 earthquakes exceeding magnitude 6 have occurred within 250 kilometers of the area since 1970. With a magnitude 7.8 earthquake that occurred, it released twice as much energy as the earthquake that occurred in 1999, with a magnitude of 7.6. This magnitude 7.8 also emits 16,000 times more energy than the magnitude 5 that normally occurs in this area. Scale 7 is considered a major earthquake, while Scale 6 is considered a moderate earthquake. Magnitude 4 is a light tremor that can be felt and causes damage such as cracks in the walls of buildings. A magnitude 5 is 10 times the tremor of a magnitude 4. While magnitude 6 is 100 times greater than magnitude 4, the impact can be seen in the loss of life, especially in densely populated areas. On February 6th to 7th, there were 81 earthquakes of magnitude 4, 20 earthquakes of magnitude 5, 3 earthquakes of magnitude 6, and 2 earthquakes of magnitude 7 detected in southeast Turkey. With a total of 106 earthquakes at the moment, it is impossible to imagine how much energy is released. The energy produced from the earthquake in Turkiye on February 6th was greater than all the earthquakes that occurred for the previous 3 months. In addition, the energy produced from an earthquake is not only from a central point, but rather it is released from the movement along the friction that occurs in the tectonic plates. The bigger the earthquake, the bigger the movement that occurs. For magnitude 7.8, the most likely movement occurred in an area of 190 kilometers long and 25 kilometers wide. Therefore, the perceived tremor is very extensive. The tremors were so strong that the devastation was felt by 610,000 residents living in an area of 80 square kilometers. Small tremors were felt as far as Istanbul as far as 815 kilometers, Baghdad as far as 800 kilometers, and Cairo as far as 950 kilometers. Aftershocks can also occur over days and years. This is because parts of the Earth's crust are adjusting to the strong pressure they have faced. Can strong earthquakes be detected early? The strongest earthquake recorded in the 20th century was a magnitude 9.5, which shook Chile in 1960. On December 26, 2004, an earthquake with a magnitude of 9.1 that resulted in a tsunami hit Indonesia, killing 228,000 people. In 2011, an earthquake with a magnitude of 9 hit Japan as well, resulting in a tsunami, as well as the worst nuclear tragedy of Fukushima. According to Professor Carlo Doglioni, due to the earthquake on February 6th, the part of the Turkiye country that is on the Anatolian plate has changed its position by 10 feet, and it happened in just a few seconds. The area is known to be prone to earthquakes, but seismologists say it is impossible to know when an earthquake of this magnitude will occur. Despite active research studies worldwide, the time interval between strong earthquakes does not have a uniform pattern and is unpredictable. In addition, the area has a complicated earth crust movement system. In August 1999, a strong earthquake hit Marmara, south of Istanbul, with a magnitude of 7.6 for 45 seconds, and has resulted in 17,500 deaths in a few days. Scientists at the U.S. Geological Center can only predict the probability of a strong earthquake that will occur in an area during a certain year. For example, the percentage probability of an earthquake of a certain magnitude for the next 30 years in a certain area. Japan is a country on the Pacific Ring of Fire and sits on the collision course of the Earth's 4 ever-moving tectonic plates. Japan has the highest number of earthquakes in the world each year, which is as many as 1,500, and has the most sophisticated detection system in the world, yet is unable to accurately predict the natural disaster. What can be done is to install thousands of sensors worth millions of dollars on its 4 main islands to detect the initial waves before the devastating tremors occur. Therefore, an early warning will be issued to all residents to seek shelter as soon as possible. However, the detection system may also be late in detecting waves, or the calculations made are inaccurate. Earthquakes are very complex, and seismologists do not have enough knowledge about the processes that occur inside the Earth. Scientists may know about the stress that is happening due to the movement of tectonic plates, but cannot identify the exact location when that stress becomes stronger and causes earthquakes. Destruction and deaths. The country of Turkey has a seismic code system for construction to prevent buildings from collapsing, following the Izmit earthquake in 1999. However, the area hit by the earthquake on February 6th is used to experiencing a lot of tremors which over time damage the structure of old buildings. The collapsing structure of the apartment buildings seen colliding with each other from above shows that the floors and walls are unable to withstand the earthquake. This also makes it difficult for the victim to be safe because there is no room for the victim to take shelter. There are also old buildings that were built before the seismic code system was enforced. The report on the 4th day shows that the number of victims has recorded more than 17,000 victims, which is about 14,000 in Turkey and 3,000 in Syria. In Turkiye, rescue teams struggled in extreme cold to reach victims trapped under the rubble. According to Professor Elon Kilman, an expert in disaster and health at University College London, the chance for a victim to be found safe is within the first 72 hours, but every life is important because it is not impossible that the victim is still alive after several days. Time is the main enemy in search and rescue efforts. Many of those buried are at risk of death due to the lack of food and water while waiting to be found by rescuers. Millions of survivors also lost their homes and lacked basic supplies, and had to deal with cold weather. The UN estimates that the total number of victims affected by this disaster is 23 million people. President Erdogan has asked for international help, and 45 countries have agreed to send an aid mission to help Turkey at this time. In conclusion, the strongest earthquake in almost a century, occurring in the border area of Turkey and Syria, is something very tragic for the beginning of 2023. While scientists around the world will analyze this disaster to understand more the complex process of earthquakes for future preparations. Thank you for watching.